Well, I love, honestly, just taking the gear out of the box and using it. Like a crisp, brand new blocker is going to have the hottest rebounds possible. The pads are going to be firm. They're going to hit the ice really solid, and they're going to slide really great. But I remember probably about 10 years ago, I think Carey Price might have been one of the first guys to do it. I remember he was wearing Vaughn. It was one of the last years he wore Vaughn. It was right after they traded Halak from the Canadians. But he would get brand new gear and just, boom, later that day. I think the last game of the season in 2010-2011 against the Leafs, he just debuted a brand new set. Came in the morning, used it for morning skate, boom, ready to go rock and roll, use it for the playoffs, which was unheard of at the time. Because remember, guys would use their gear for 2-3 weeks to break it in, get it soft and whatnot.
Totally. You'd use those in practice for at least, like you said, 2 or 3 weeks just to get like, okay, I'm comfortable with these enough now. There were practice pads and there were your game pads. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, no, the technology has changed without a doubt. But, yeah, you would have to kind of customize them themselves. And the things that I watched some of our goaltenders do, like even before a game, they would shove them underneath the benches where you would sit, in the locker room just to try and get some extra flex out of them, or else they were pretty stiff when you were putting them on getting out there.
Well, Hellebuyck does that too. He does that, and then I saw him, one of the guys in the Montreal system. He takes his pads, skate laces, ties them up tight as they go, and then leave them under the bench and let them sit for a couple of days to get more of like an S curve shape. But it's interesting how that's changed because like I said, I love using it straight out of the box. Put it on, use it in a game later that day. Was there a piece of equipment you always look forward to using, brand new, out of the box, you're excited for?
Stick. Yeah, every
Sticks
time.
Are nice.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, I come from the generation where the Easton aluminums were fairly new, and they were still a two-piece, and you were still having a wood blade on the end. And it wasn't until I was done playing and got into beer league that I started using the one-piece composites. But no, a fresh piece of lumber there was nothing better.
Isn't that nice? So that feeling of a fresh stick, the puck coming off, crisp, clean. Doesn't have that dampering sound from getting hit and beat up so much. That's nice.
Well, you got to keep in mind too. Again, getting old, my generation, we had limited supply of what kind of sticks we could get. I mean, sometimes you had to go like, oh, the lie's not the same as I used last time because Bauer didn't send those ones again, or the curve is a little bit different, or whatever it may be. So you kind of had to adjust on the fly. Where nowadays you can get the exact same stick. If one breaks for an entire season. I mean, you can make minute changes. Like the technology is unbelievable. But again, the longevity of those sticks are maybe a game or two, where back in our day, we would use those for months on end.
Mm-hmm. Well, the pro guys are using a brand new stick every single game. But I remember when I was a kid growing up, maybe like 10 through 13, the idea of using a composite stick, like you don't use composite sticks. That's what players use them for. They, for a harder shot, quicker release, goalies, you want wood or foam core. Now, those are dead. Mm-hmm. Everybody uses composites, and the goalie sticks now, they're having crazy cutouts. They're crazy thin. I think the sticks are down to probably under 600 grams a piece.
It blows me away why you guys break those things. They're so bloody expensive. I mean, I used to get chewed. I mean, we were paying probably...
The shafts would break the most.
If I remember correctly, I was using a Bauer Lindros.
Maybe a Bauer Triple X?
No, it wasn't a Triple X. We didn't have that. I don't want to say Bauer Supreme because I don't think that was it. But it was a Bauer. It was a Lindros. And they were going for $38 if memory serves correct. $38 per twig.
That was pricey back then?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, mom and dad having to shell that out every couple of weeks for a new twig was expensive, right? But nowadays, I mean, you go to Canadian Tire, your local big box department store, and you're lucky if you can find one for under $200. And so I think they always talk about the kids look up to the pros, and watching you pros sit there and let in a bad goal or make a bad shot and smash that stick knowing there's 20 more on the bench waiting for you. Yep. The kids see that and they go, oh, mad, smash. And the parents are going, oh, there goes another paycheck.
Well, imagine rolling into a store. You're paying $400, 400 rips for a brand new twig.
Right.
It's insane. I mean, even goalie sticks are getting up there $400, $420 for the top and line Bauer. Mm-hmm. I know the whole inflation and North America is getting out of control. But
hey, every Sunday a new podcast goes up. But if you don't have time to watch the whole thing, there's clips everywhere and just segmented stuff on your favorite players. Go subscribe to Slang and the Biscuit. You can click these boxes because who doesn't like clicking boxes?